Hi, and welcome to another episode of Maverick and Dempsey's Rundown. All right, so we got a lot to recap. The Super Bowl happened last week. All right. Now, I wanted to let that kind of settle with everybody. Everybody knows who won. I don't need to do a rundown of the game exactly, but I wanted to kind of settle down and let other commentators and fans all do their own job of breaking down the game, and I can come in and kind of break down their breakdown. So that's what I'm going to do today. All right. So, just a brief little recap on the actual game itself. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady absolutely destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs just didn't show up. They had nothing going on offense. Patrick Mahomes didn't score a touchdown on his legs or through the air at all. I mean, it was just a complete and utter destruction by the Buccaneers. And so everybody's why? That's what we're wondering here. Well, I was like the only one who predicted that Patrick Mahomes does not perform well in the Super Bowl. He didn't. I mean, he's been in two, and he's thrown four interceptions. So, well, I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Kind of nailed that one. All right, so what did happen? All right. Now, yes, the Tampa Bay defense showed out. So, of course, there's people saying it wasn't Tom Brady, it was the Tampa Bay defense. All right. So, let's start with that. Let's start with Tampa Bay's defense. Now, the defense did shut down the game. They shut down Patrick Mahomes. They shut him down completely. They put pressure on him. They cut him off in the air. They cut him off on the ground. I mean, there was nothing they could really do. Okay, so now is Tampa Bay's defense the reason they won? All right, that's the first myth I want to dispel. Now it's not a complete myth. I don't mean it like that, but do we take all the credit away from the offense and Tom Brady in particular, which is what people like to do? Well, you got to remember something here. That defense was non-existent against the Packers. The Aaron Rodgers scored 3 touchdowns on him. Patrick Mahomes couldn't get one. So did Tampa Bay's defense win the game, or did Patrick Mahomes blow the game? All right. I think it's a little from column A and a little from column B. And that's why I said that's the first thing we're going to talk about. Tampa Bay's defense deserves a ton of credit. All right. They did shut down Patrick Mahomes. They shut down the most explosive offense in the NFL. But Patrick Mahomes also should take a lot of blame because he didn't make anything happen. The quarterback that's supposed to make things happen, the guy who's supposed to make it. That's the whole big thing about Patrick Mahomes. He will make plays happen when there's nothing there. He didn't do that. He completely crumbled. He held on to the ball way too long. Patrick Mahomes defenders don't like that, but it's true. He held on the ball too long. All right, he did the same mistake that Lamar Jackson does a lot in the postseason. Held on the ball too long, and he got creamed for it. Russell Wilson, I love Russell Wilson. I'm a big fan of Russell Wilson. After Drew Brees and Tom Brady, that's my guy. He held on to the ball much too often this season. That's one of the reasons why he led with the most sacks of any quarterback. All right. So the defense of Tampa Bay certainly showed out. Patrick Mahomes had a complete meltdown, a breakdown. They want to blame it on the toe. We're not going to do that. Look, injuries happen in football. Nobody wanted to give Drew Brees a pass when he had 11 broken ribs, a bad foot, and a bad rotator cuff. Everybody said, "Oh, he's too old." Okay, well then is Patrick Mahomes too old? No, of course not. He's in his 20s. All right. So then what's the big excuse? Oh, his toe. Okay, so we're not going to give Drew Brees an excuse for 11 broken ribs, a bad foot, and a bad rotator cuff. But we're going to let Patrick Mahomes slide on a bad toe. Okay. Now, a turf toe is a bad thing. I mean, for people that don't know, it's not some measly little injury. It's I'm not a doctor here, but it's like the tendon that connects with the toe and the rest of the foot. I mean, you're not going to be able to run well in that. You're not going to be able to stand. You can't plant the foot very well. It is a bad injury. I'm not trying to say it's not a bad injury, but it's not an excuse why you lost the Super Bowl. All right, make a play through the air. I mean, Tom Brady, whether he's got two good feet or not, the guy isn't running circles in that quarterback pocket. But make it happen with your arm, man. You're the quarterback. So Patrick Mahomes should have showed up. All right, so he didn't show up and he didn't show out. And I told you that was going to happen, all right? Or I told you that was a possibility. All right, I'm not Nostradamus. All right, so We move on to Tampa Bay's offense. Now, the offense did show up for Tampa Bay, all right, just like their defense did. Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny, became Super Bowl Lenny. He was absolutely unbelievable. And remember, this is a guy that got cut from the worst team in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars, one of the worst franchises in the NFL historically, all right? Yeah, they had a good run a couple years ago, but come on, this is not a team that has done much of anything. And they cut him. They said, look, we don't need you. We're not even going to try to trade you. I mean, you're washed up. Bust was being thrown around about this guy, and he showed up. He showed up and he showed out in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Playoff Lenny is here, and hopefully he's here to stay in Tampa Bay, all right? At least for Bucs fans, okay? Now, let's go on to Tom Brady, all right? Tom Brady, the MVP of the game. Now, the Brady has a lot of haters, of course he does. You know, when you're the great one that's standing on top of the mountain, you're going to have a lot of people that want to knock you off. Whether it's LeBron or Sidney Crosby in hockey or Bryce Harper in baseball, you're going to have people that want to knock you off that mountain, okay? Tom Brady, did he deserve the MVP? You're damn right he deserved the MVP. All right, it's most valuable player. This is a 7-9 team. Tom Brady gets added. He's the one that got Gronk there. He's the one that got Antonio Brown there. He's the one that said, hey, Leonard Fournette, we should get this guy on the team. And according to Bruce Arians, the coach of the team, Tom Brady's the one who's calling his own plays. Okay, he's pulling a Peyton Manning out there. So if we're going to give Peyton credit for being, in the top 5 quarterbacks of all time because he calls his own plays, then Tom Brady deserves that in this game, in this run. Okay, Tom Brady is the MVP because he took a 7-9 team to the Super Bowl and they won. He did it. So sorry if you hate Tom Brady. Take that elsewhere. I mean, the guy did it. 10 Super Bowl appearances, 7 rings, okay? People want to bring up Eli Manning. Hey, I love the Manning family. I love Eli Manning. I mean, that Super Bowl run he had against Brady, the first one back in 07-08, that's one of my favorite runs of all time, one of my favorite Super Bowls of all time. But guess what? Eli Manning finished with a 116 record, lost just as many games as he won, got benched and got run out of the league because no other team wanted to sign him to a contract. All right, so Eli Manning fans can raise their hands and he won too against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's great. He also finished his career not in disgrace, but not far from it. And he's a debatable Hall of Famer, whereas Tom Brady's a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. All right, so let's stop that. Tom Brady is the GOAT. When Max Kellerman has to cave in and say it. It's true. I mean, this was the biggest Brady hater there is. He's built his show during football season for the last 6.5 years saying Brady is falling off a cliff. Even he had to admit he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT, man. You got to give it to him. And the most valuable player. All right, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Look, Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to predict it right now. I think he's one and done. I think he is the Aaron Rodgers of the NFL because he's got the skill level, he's got the talent where people who value just pure talent, not the wins and losses, not the mental acumen, when they just want to talk about how he throws the ball and the things he can do with his feet. Patrick Mahomes is the next Aaron Rodgers, all right? And what does that mean? That means everybody's going to make excuses for him like they do Aaron Rodgers. When he loses, it's never his fault. And he's also going to get one Super Bowl, and I believe that's it. I believe one Super Bowl. Is it possible he gets more? Of course it is. I mean, I'm trying to go out on a wire here, trying to create a buzz, trying to do something that nobody else is doing. That's what everybody tries to do. You want to be that guy standing by yourself with the hot take. I understand that. I'm not blind to what I'm doing here. But they're not coming back next year. Maybe they'll come back in 5 years, but they're not coming back next year. I think that's it. I think it's going to be like San Francisco 49ers, like the Seattle Seahawks before, like Russell Wilson. Unfortunately, you're not going to make it back, at least not right away. So, all right. So then how about Tampa Bay celebration? How about Tom Brady throwing the trophy to Cameron Brate, threw it to Gronk, but Cameron Brate was the one that caught it. That was an excellent moment. Look, if you're not enjoying this right now, you missed out on 2 incredible decades of football from Tom Brady. And look, I am the guy that's going to gloat. I'm the guy that's going to have fun with it because I'm the guy that's been saying Tom Brady's the GOAT. And around here in Louisiana, when people have their own GOAT and Drew Brees, and I love Drew, by the way, but when people have their own GOAT and Drew Brees and everybody wants to slap you down for it, and you end up standing here alone on that mountain in Louisiana by yourself saying Tom Brady is the GOAT. Look, I'm going to take a lap. All right, I'm going to take a lap. I'm going to have fun with this. Okay. Tom Brady, like I said, he went to a 7-9 team. He went to the biggest losing franchise of all time, and he walked away with a Super Bowl ring. All right. Let me just give you a little bit on Tom Brady. You can take Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and Dan Marino, and all the rings those Hall of Famers won, and you will equal the amount Tom Brady has. Okay? Think about that for a second. Tom Brady has more Super Bowl rings than any other single franchise. Pittsburgh Steelers have 6. New England Patriots have 6. Tom Brady has 7. He's doing things that have never been done, and you should enjoy it. He may even get another one. All right? So you should enjoy it, okay? He won the battle with Belichick. He won the battle, the divorce with the Patriots. He won that, and he won the Super Bowl. So let's give him the pat on the back here. He got that, all right? So that's my little Super Bowl breakdown. It's probably enough and enough of the Tom Brady love for everyone. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't really have notes, so I didn't really put anything else down. We're going to have more football podcasts coming because it just never stops in the NFL. All right. Oh, I do have some notes. Yeah. Well, let's not worry about that right now. I've gone almost 12 minutes here. So. There were some fights last night. Not much to talk about. It wasn't a huge fight weekend. Richard Comey got a great win last night. He's back in the win column. He lost his title to Teofimo Lopez in a brutal knockout. He went back to Ghana and in disgrace, according to him. I'm a big fan of his, and he got a win last night on ESPN. I'm very excited about that. It was an amazing 6-round knockout against a guy whose name I keep forgetting. Not Martinez, but it was like Marinez. All right. Anyway, it was an exciting fight. It was fun to watch. All right. UFC, Kamaru Usman got the victory over his former teammate Gilbert Burns, and that was also exciting. I mean, he's supposed to be the boring guy, and he got the win, the third round TKO, I believe. I didn't actually see it. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching boxing, not UFC last night. I want to pay the $70 for one fight, Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. Call me when Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier fight again, or let's see who else is hot right now. Well, I was gonna say Habib, but he's gone right now. Israel Adesanya, when Israel Adesanya fights again, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, you fight Colby Covington, I might order it. I won't, but illegal stream it. Didn't say that. All right, so. We got more football news coming. We got more football podcasts coming. J.J. Watt, that was breaking news. J.J. Watt is done in Houston. Does he have anything left? He needs to get with a team like a Tampa Bay or another perennial favorite. San Francisco is coming back, and if they can stay healthy, maybe J.J. Watt can end up on San Francisco, give them a bigger pass rush. How about Seattle Seahawks? What happened to the Legion of Boom? They've been dead and buried for a long time. Maybe so he can join Seattle Seahawks, get something going on their defense. All right. Russell Wilson is unhappy in Seattle. Deshaun Watson's unhappy in Texas, all right? They both Deshaun demands a trade, and Russell Wilson is talking trade. You know what? Why don't we just swap them? Give those guys a new surrounding. I mean, it's not going to happen, but it'd be fun, wouldn't it? There's a whole quarterback carousel that's gonna happen in the NFL, and that's what we're going to talk about on the next show, on the next podcast. My little partner in crime, I think she's still in her room watching Cookie Swirl C or something, so I think she missed this podcast. But I was kind of running off at the mouth anyway. All right, with my Tom Brady love. So this was the Maverick and Tom Brady podcast, and tune in next time for the Maverick and Dempsey podcast. See ya.